I want to tell you a story about a man I met a few years ago. He came to my office feeling frustrated, confused, and a little defeated. He said, I don't understand her anymore. I try to be close, I try to show love, but it feels like she's somewhere else, even when she's right next to me. As we talked, I realized that he had been approaching intimacy the way most men do, focused on the physical, thinking that desire comes from the right moves or the right timing. But what he didn't see was that connection isn't built on touch alone. It's built on presence, awareness, and emotional safety. He had been missing the subtle ways a woman communicates what she truly needs, the quiet gestures, the tiny signs that open her emotionally before anything else happens. I shared something with him that I wish every man could hear at the beginning of their relationships. Touch is not about doing it right. It's about showing her you see her, that you understand her, that she matters to you. And when he finally understood that, everything changed. That simple shift from action to awareness became a turning point not just in his marriage, but in the way he understood connection itself. Welcome to Pamela Talks, where we explore the hidden truths of relationships and human connection. Today, we're diving into the subtle ways a woman truly feels loved and understood, and how simple, mindful gestures can create deep emotional intimacy. Gentlemen, let me begin by telling you something many men never fully realize. There isn't just one way to touch a woman. There are certain areas of her body that create strong emotional reactions, often long before any physical response appears. The reality is, most men only know two or three of these places, if they know them at all. I am a relationship psychologist, and for more than 20 years, I have worked with couples in every phase of life. Today, I want to share what I wish I had clearly explained to every man who has ever sat in my office. No complicated theory, no false promises, only what psychology, neuroscience, and real experience continue to prove. Before we move ahead, let me ask you something simple. Do you truly know where and how a woman wants to be touched? I am not speaking about the obvious areas most men immediately think about. I mean the places that open her emotionally, the small actions that make her feel understood even before her body reacts. Many men tell me, I know my partner very well. But when I ask this question, they often go quiet. Why does that happen? Because no one really taught you this. There is no clear guidebook, and women, even when they feel these needs strongly, do not always put them into words. Instead, they communicate in quieter ways, through their posture, through their eyes, and through small gestures that many men simply overlook. Today, I will talk about 7 important zones, but understand this clearly. These are not just physical parts of the body, they are emotional doorways. If you learn to understand them, and more importantly, learn how to approach them with care and awareness, your partner's response will begin to shift in a powerful and meaningful way. Deeply. Your hands will no longer feel like just hands. They will become a way of speaking without words. After more than 20 years of working with couples, one truth keeps showing up again and again. Most men act on instinct. They believe that touching the right place will automatically create pleasure. But for women, pleasure does not start in a mechanical way. It begins with emotional safety. Many men think they are doing everything correctly. Yet, from a woman's point of view, the touch can often feel one-sided. You may have wondered why she does not respond like she once did, why her reaction feels different over time. The reason is simpler than you think. What men often see as normal or routine rarely creates emotion for women. Women do not respond to stimulation alone. They respond to intention, awareness, and true presence. When a woman feels in her whole being that you sincerely care, her body naturally follows. But here is the difficulty. Women do not always explain what they need. They show it in quiet ways. One former patient once told me something I never forgot. Do not touch me, just to touch me. Let me feel that you are truly there first. That sentence carries the heart of what many women feel. This is not about contact alone. It is about opening a psychological door before anything else happens. The first zone is the hands. Many men underestimate this area. A woman's hands are closely linked to her emotional world. When you hold them slowly and gently, you are touching more than skin. A soft movement along her fingers or a steady, warm pressure in her palm can create a deep feeling of being valued and understood. In my work, I have seen something very clear. Couples who continue holding hands, even after many years together, often keep a stronger emotional connection. This is not an accident. Hand contact releases oxytocin, the hormone connected to trust and bonding. One small detail many men ignore is care. Clean, warm, well-kept hands matter more than you think. The second zone is the nape of the neck, right below the hairline. This is where tension quietly builds during the day. When you touch this area slowly and gently, without speaking and without expecting anything, the body begins to relax. This is not about excitement. It is about comfort and trust. I once worked with a man in his late 50s who felt unseen in his marriage. One evening, without any plan, he placed his hand softly on his wife's neck while she stood near the window. She paused. She breathed out slowly. Then she turned toward him. That simple action reopened something they thought was gone. The third zone is the lower back, between the waist and the hips. This area represents support and steadiness. When you place your hands there gently, without gripping or holding tightly, you send a clear message. I am here and you are safe, but you are still free. This gesture works best in normal, everyday moments. In the kitchen, in the early morning, in quiet silence. Your chest lightly against her back, your hands warm and calm. No words are necessary. The fourth zone is behind the ear and along the jawline. This area is very sensitive and only feels comfortable when trust already exists. Too much pressure can immediately close it. Finally, understand that true connection grows when she feels she has a choice. When your touch feels inviting rather than demanding, she relaxes into it willingly. Freedom increases desire. When she feels she can move closer or step back without pressure, trust strengthens. This balance between closeness and respect is what keeps attraction alive over time. Emotional intimacy is not about taking. It is about sharing space in a way that feels safe for both people. When you master this balance, touch becomes more than contact. It becomes understanding without words. There is another layer that makes all of this even deeper. Emotional connection outside the bedroom directly affects physical closeness inside it. If a woman feels dismissed during daily conversations, unheard during small disagreements, or unappreciated in simple efforts, her body will carry that weight. Touch cannot erase emotional distance. It can only amplify what already exists. This is why respect during normal moments matters so much. When she feels valued during ordinary days, physical connection becomes a natural continuation of that respect. Intimacy is not a separate event. It is the result of how you treat her consistently over time. Small acts of leadership also create emotional security. This does not mean control. It means steadiness. When you are emotionally stable, clear in your actions, and calm in your decisions, she relaxes more easily. Uncertainty creates tension. Stability creates softness. When your touch carries that same grounded energy, it feels safe instead of overwhelming. Many women are drawn to calm strength. Not loud dominance, but quiet confidence. When she feels that you are centered within yourself, her body does not feel the need to guard. It feels safe enough to open gradually and naturally. Playfulness is another missing piece. Not every touch has to feel serious or intense. Light, playful contact builds comfort and reduces pressure. A gentle brush of her hand while smiling, a soft pull closer during a laugh, or resting your hand on her waist in a relaxed way creates warmth without expectation. When she associates your touch with positive emotion instead of demand, desire grows in a healthy way. Laughter lowers stress hormones and increases bonding chemicals. The more relaxed she feels around you, the easier emotional and physical closeness becomes. It is also important to understand pacing. Many men move too quickly because they are focused on outcome. But when you slow down, anticipation builds naturally. Anticipation is powerful because it allows her emotions to catch up with the moment. When you rush, her body may respond physically, but her emotions may not fully align. When you take your time, letting each touch settle before moving to the next, you create depth. Depth creates intensity without force. The slower the build, the stronger the connection often becomes. In the end, everything returns to awareness. Notice her breathing. Notice the way her body shifts toward or away from you. Notice how her eyes soften when she feels safe. These signs are more important than any technique. When you respond to her signals instead of following a fixed pattern, intimacy becomes mutual. She feels involved rather than led somewhere she did not choose. True connection is never about control. It is about shared rhythm. When two people move in emotional harmony, touch becomes powerful without effort. There is also a strong connection between emotional vulnerability and physical openness. When a woman feels safe enough to share her thoughts, fears, or insecurities with you, her body naturally becomes more relaxed around you. Emotional intimacy lowers defenses. If she feels judged or criticized in sensitive moments, even gently, her nervous system remembers that. But when you respond with patience and understanding, trust grows deeper. That trust shows itself not only in conversation, but in the way she responds to your presence. A woman who feels emotionally protected does not need to guard herself physically. Silence can also be powerful. Many men feel they must constantly speak or do something, but sometimes the most meaningful moments happen in quiet closeness. Sitting near her, holding her gently, without trying to lead anywhere, creates calm bonding. In those quiet spaces, she feels your energy clearly. If your mind is restless, she senses it. If you are calm and steady, she absorbs that calm. Emotional regulation is attractive. When you control your impulses and move with patience, your touch carries maturity. That maturity builds long-term desire rather than short bursts of excitement. Another key factor is appreciation. When you verbally acknowledge her, not only her appearance, but her effort, intelligence, and personality, you strengthen emotional connection. Words of genuine appreciation create internal warmth. When that warmth already exists, physical touch feels like a natural extension of affection instead of a request. Many women say they want to feel emotionally chosen before they feel physically desired. When appreciation comes first, desire follows more easily and more deeply. Simple statements spoken sincerely can shift the entire emotional tone between you. Boundaries are equally important. When she knows that you respect her limits without frustration or pressure, trust increases significantly. Respecting a boundary today makes her more open tomorrow. Pressure may create short-term compliance, but it weakens long-term connection. When your behavior consistently shows that her comfort matters, she feels valued. That value strengthens emotional security, and emotional security is the foundation of lasting attraction. When a woman feels both free and safe, closeness becomes a choice she gladly makes, rather than something she feels pushed toward. Over time, this approach transforms the relationship. Touch stops being about technique and becomes about awareness. Intimacy becomes less about reaching a goal and more about sharing experience. When you combine patience, respect, presence, appreciation, and emotional steadiness, connection deepens naturally. The strongest relationships are not built on intensity alone. They are built on safety, trust, and mutual understanding. When those elements are in place, physical closeness becomes meaningful, balanced, and deeply fulfilling for both partners. There is also a deep link between trust and anticipation. When a woman feels emotionally secure with you, even small moments of closeness begin to carry quiet excitement. Anticipation grows when she feels no pressure. If she senses that every touch must lead somewhere, her body stays cautious. But when touch is sometimes simply touch without expectation, it builds curiosity and comfort. This balance between calm and desire creates emotional tension in a healthy way. She begins to wonder about you instead of preparing herself. That shift from defense to openness changes everything. Emotional consistency is another powerful factor. If one day you are warm and attentive and the next day distant or cold, her nervous system becomes confused. Inconsistency creates insecurity, but when your energy remains steady, her body learns that you are predictable in a safe way. Predictability in behavior builds relaxation. Relaxation allows desire to grow naturally. Many men focus only on exciting moments, but it is the steady daily presence that creates lasting attraction. When she trusts your emotional stability, she does not feel the need to protect herself from sudden changes. Touch also becomes stronger when it reflects emotional alignment. If she feels upset or overwhelmed, strong physical moves may feel disconnected from her emotional state. But when your touch matches her mood, it feels supportive. Sometimes that means simply holding her. Sometimes it means giving space while staying nearby. Emotional intelligence means reading what she needs in that moment rather than following a fixed pattern. The more accurately you respond to her emotional state, the deeper the bond becomes. She feels understood without having to explain herself every time. Confidence without ego plays a major role as well. True confidence is calm. It does not rush. It does not demand proof. When you are secure in yourself, you do not seek validation through physical response. That calm self assurance allows you to move slowly and patiently. Women often feel safest with men who are steady rather than reactive. When your touch feels grounded and intentional, not impulsive, it creates deeper comfort. Comfort allows vulnerability. Vulnerability allows closeness, and closeness strengthens desire in a lasting way. Over time, intimacy becomes less about discovering new areas and more about deepening familiar ones. The same gentle hand on her back, the same soft touch on her neck, can feel new again when delivered with presence. It is not about variety alone. It is about awareness in each moment. When she feels your full attention, even simple contact feels meaningful. In the end, real connection grows from emotional safety, steady presence, and sincere care. When those elements are consistent, physical closeness becomes a natural expression of something much deeper. In the end, connection isn't about performing or following a set of rules. It's about being present, noticing her, and showing with intention that she matters. Every touch, every gesture, every moment of patience and awareness builds trust and emotional closeness. When a woman feels truly seen, respected, and safe, her body and heart naturally respond. These small, sincere actions are what create real intimacy and lasting bonds. Remember, it's never too late to start paying attention in a deeper way. One thoughtful, genuine touch can open a whole new chapter in your relationship. Thank you for watching Pamela Talks. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a video. And if this spoke to you, comment below with the word connection to let me know you enjoyed it and value the message.